Welcome to the Skeptic Zone, the podcast from Australia for science and reason.
Hello and welcome to the Skeptic Zone, show number 89 for the 2nd of July 2010. Richard Saunders here with you in Sydney, Australia, just about to start packing for our trip to Las Vegas for TAM8, the amazing Meeting 8. Looking forward to that, leaving in a couple of days. On this week's show, we have an interview conducted by our very own Kylie Sturgis with Pamela Gay. Pamela Gay, the famous astronomer. A delightful lady and a very interesting interview. And that's followed by a report from a very good friend of ours, Dale Roy, from the Granite State Skeptics there in New Hampshire. Think free or die is their motto, about magic bracelets and necklaces. You know, the sort of things that when you put them on, they give you more strength, power, well-being, wellness, bring back the zest in your life, feel better, sleep better, cure your ingrown toenails, whatever they suggest these things do. And some of you may know that I'm certainly very interested in this topic, magical power and balance devices. And to round off the show, we have a clip from Radio 2UE here in Sydney, where I was interviewed by George and Paul, a couple of nice DJs, a year or so ago. So a little bit of a shortened show this week because we're all so busy packing and doing all sorts of things to get ready for the amazing meeting. And next week, I was thinking about putting up a special episode of an old interview or something interesting, but no, I'm going to record some stuff live at Las Vegas and whack it up for you. Looking forward to that. Enough. Let's get into the show.
I'm Kylie Sturgis, and I'm talking to Dr Pamela Gay. Dr Gay is an astronomer, a writer, and a podcaster who uses new media to engage people in science and technology. You can find her blog at starstrider.com, and today she talks to us about the many projects that she's involved in. Thank you very much for joining me, Dr. Pamela Gay.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for coming to me so late in your night and so early in my morning.
Yep, welcome to good old international Skyping conference calls. It's great, isn't it?
I don't think I could do my job if Skype didn't exist.
I know what you mean. Speaking of everything that you do, you have an incredibly busy schedule ahead with Convergence, TAM8, Lunar Forums, the Astronomical Society of the Pacific 2010. What are some of the presentations that people can look forward to?
Well, I think the overall theme that I'm going for is how everyday people can be part of science.
Brilliant.
I'm part of a project called Zooniverse. We do Galaxy Zoo and Moon Zoo and Solar Storm Watch and several other projects that allow anyone, even kids, to get involved in looking at NASA image data from satellite missions and discovering something wonderful. And so at TAM8, I'm going to be talking about how, as scientists, we can invite the people around us to be part of the scientific process. It's not just for lab coats anymore. And at the other sites, I'll be presenting our research, showing some of our results at Convergence, talking about how we work to educate people at the Lunar Forums, and at the Astronomical Society of the Pacific, I'm going to be talking about, well, just how is it that people are interacting with our data. So the why, what, and how it's happening is going to be getting told across all these different meetings.
It sounds like very optimistic news, am I right?
Well, it's not just optimistic. We have inspiring results. It's good to be optimistic,
correct.
But it's better to inspire. We have cases of people discovering the light echo from a quasar, of going through and finding stars moving quickly across the sky on orbital paths that are very different from our own. We have people who are choosing to try and discover on their own why some galaxies look like small green peas. And all of these wonderful discoveries are being made by people working at home on their laptops using social media to collaborate together and then coming to the PhDs for help rather than for direction. And that's wonderful.
That is fantastic. So that's definitely something to put into the diaries to catch up with you on.
I can't wait to share the results.
Yay. Now, one of the other projects that I've seen mentioned on your site is, and I hope I'm saying this correctly, the Voorwerpisch webcomic. Voorwerpisch?
It's Dutch, so it's Voorwerp.
Voorwerp. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah. So back in August of 2007, a Dutch school teacher, Hanny van Arkel, was looking through galaxies on the Galaxy Zoo website, classifying them by what they look like, their shape. Do they look like the letter S, the letter Z? Are they big cotton balls of gas? And one of the galaxies that she was classifying, directly beneath it was what in that particular image was this big blue blob of gas. The particular telescope that was being used makes oxygen lines look blue instead of green. And it strangely actually looks like the Swamp Thing or like a blue Kermit the Frog dancing. And like any curious human being, she wanted to know what it was. So she went to the Galaxy Zoo forums and she wrote Hanny's Voorwerp. She's Dutch. She used the Dutch word for thing, for stuff.
Brilliant.
And then she asked the question, what is this stuff below the galaxy? And there was a lot of head scratching. And then there was the race for telescope time. And we've been studying this object, scientists all around the world, across many wavelengths using a variety of telescopes all the way down to Hubble Space Telescope. Essentially visiting the oracles of knowledge is how we're going to tell it in the webcomic, to try and get understanding of what this distant object actually is. And I'm not going to reveal the punchline yet. You're going to have to show up at Dragon Con or download it after Labor Day weekend to find out the outcome. But it's been an amazing adventure. And it's always cool when your galactic objects decide to look like comic book characters completely on their own.
Not only have people got that to look forward to, you're just not stopping. You've got a forthcoming 200th episode of Astronomy Cast and a new e-store. What are some? Have you got any plans in the works for that already?
Well, every time we hit one of these big numbers, Fraser and I think we're going to do a special episode, and I think this time we're actually going to succeed.
Yay!
It's amazing to look back since we launched in 2006 and see all the science that has radically changed. And I think in our 200th episode, we're going to do some sort of here's a science story we told in the past, and here's what we believe today, and take you on the newest leg of the facts-based journey that our show is going on. The e-store is a way for us to make it easier for us to do the cool things we want to do. We keep getting audience requests. Can you come talk at our event? Can you produce the following education materials? Can you help us learn better? And to do all of these things, it takes money. Yeah. And right now, Astronomy Cast, it's a labor of love. We pay our audio engineer. We pay a woman to help us handle all the letters, all of the bills, and all of the day-to-day paperwork. But Fraser and I do this for free, and often we pick up our own airfare.
Wow. That's significant. Yes.
Yeah. So having an e-store means you can more effectively inflict our audio on people who have CD drives, and we can hopefully more effectively educate.
One of the other projects that you're involved in and that I've taken part in and members of the Skeptic Zone have taken part in is the 365 Days of Astronomy, which has continued on into 2010. I was there when you got the Parsec Podcasting Award in 2009, which was wonderful. George Robb running around waving it in the middle of the meeting, so in the middle of the live show that we had for the Skeptic Zone. So how has it gone since that time?
Oh, it's been going amazingly well, although I have to say we need audio. So if any of your listeners out there want to be a part of the show, we could use your involvement. It's been amazing to see how people from all around the world have found the time to donate 10 minutes of their story, 10 minutes of their love of astronomy, of talking to their kids about Pluto, of telling us about what caused them growing up in areas where science isn't really taught to go into science. And we're catching the latest research results coming out of the observatories, and we're finding out about the water on the moon. And there is so much depth to what you can say in astronomy, everything from your personal stories to the stories of the greatest discoveries. And I think 365 days, by being the community's voice, allows one place where all of these different entry points in astronomy can be expressed together. And I just love listening to the variety of things people come up with. And thank you for bringing your own voice to it. And I hope that more of your listeners will take the time to think, hey, I love astronomy. I have a microphone. Maybe I should submit my 10 minutes of audio.
It is really that straightforward. And I know from the community that is out there, there's more than enough people who are willing to help out if you have an idea, and they'll give you suggestions and say, oh, I've done it, try this, try that, and just pull it together. It makes really interesting shows.
Yeah, our lead producer, Nancy Atkinson, is always there to help, and she is a walking encyclopedia of our field and one of the most amazing people I could ever work with. And this show wouldn't be possible without her out there as in some ways the pod mom, making everything happen.
So what's planned for the rest of 2010, particularly after reading about issues facing education in the USA? Is there any way people can help?
Well, yeah, it's
a
here
huge
in the
one.
United It's a huge problem, and it's not just the United States. These problems are affecting different nations in different ways. In Italy, they're shutting down some of their astronomical institutions. In England, they've cut 25% of the postdoc and graduate positions in astronomy, the funding from the national councils. Here in the United States, our research dollars, according to an email I got the other day, are currently on hold waiting for the Congress to decide how much money will be allocated in the new financial year. And state to state, well, the states are going bankrupt. In Illinois, we're hundreds of millions of dollars behind in the money going out to universities, to schools. And without money, you can't pay your teachers. And the solutions that are being come up with are brutal. Increase class sizes, increase enrollments, cut down on materials costs, cut down on the opportunities you provide your professors so that they can go out and collaborate. Just having your travel funding zeroed doesn't seem like that harsh a thing, but if you're collaborating across the globe, Skype is nice, but sometimes you want to see someone face to face.
Absolutely.
The best things that people can do are go to your schools and don't demand more science education. Go to your schools and say, I want to help. How can I help you get more science education? Be the person who goes out and finds the PhD scientist who might be working as a computer scientist and has the spare time to go in and spend a couple afternoons a week teaching science in a school in an after-school program. Go out, find the companies locally that can donate the microscopes that can't be replaced from the school budgets. Be the facilitator that makes the change we need in these schools. And anyone in the world should be able to go to their local school system and find out how to get involved in after-school programs. This is really the best way you can make a difference in a kid's life.
Yeah, I've just recently joined a school at the beginning of this year. They have an astronomy club. And so, of course, the one fellow on the entire campus who's got himself a lovely Star Trek tie. And and I said, you realise that I'm a podcaster and I'm going to be chasing you down in order to interview you and the students for the 365 days. And he said, the what? The podcast? What? Where did that come from? You just wait. You just wait, mister. We're going to get into this. So that's been my big goal for 2010, and certainly to get out another episode for the 365. So hopefully that will happen.
That's absolutely wonderful. We need more people doing that.
Dr. Pamela Gay will be at many forthcoming conferences, including TAM8, and the Galaxy Zoo site is at galaxyzoo.org, where you can help astronomers explore the universe.
this is Desiree Schell, host of Skeptically Speaking. Check out our website at skepticallyspeaking.com and listen to us live on CJSR 88.5 FM in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I now return you to the Skeptic Zone.
Everywhere I look, there are increased amounts of bracelets and necklaces for sale that promise increased performance, better health, and increased strength. I have noticed them more and more in sports stores, vitamin stores, infomercials, and ads. And now, SparkPeople.com is showing these ads for these types of bracelets and necklaces. And I understand that ads pay for the site, so we may use it for free. And while Spark People may choose to take their money wherever they can get it, as consumers should be more cautious with our money. With our society's seemingly desperate need for science understanding, these bracelets and necklaces drive the point home even more. What is a magic bracelet or necklace? It varies in development, but the usual claim is ions in the bracelet or some electromagnetic energy from ions in the bracelet claim to balance your body. Affect the ions in your body that is out of balance, thus calming the inflammation and pain you are experiencing. The problem with this claim is a flaw in understanding of ions. Ions can only be formed when an ionic compound is dissolved in a solvent, creating a solution. They cannot maintain ion status in a solid. The positive and negative ions attract each other to form strong bonds, creating a solid. Ionic compounds are solid. When ions bond together, there is no longer any outward effect as the ion's need for electrons has been satisfied. Now, your body has solutions running all through it, and yes, it has ions in it. These are called electrolytes. The body does not allow for an imbalance of positive ions over negative ions. Should there be an imbalance, it would be that you do not have enough or you have too many electrolytes in your body. The most likely cause of this electrolyte change is your activity level or illness. Quote, electrolytes are minerals in your body that have an electric charge. They are in your blood, urine, and body fluids. Maintaining the right balance of electrolytes helps your body's blood chemistry, muscle action, and other processes. Sodium, calcium, potassium, chlorine, phosphate, and magnesium are all electrolytes. You get them from the foods you eat and the fluids you drink. Levels of electrolytes in your body can become too low or too high. That can happen when the amount of water in your body changes. Causes include some medicines, vomiting, diarrhea, sweating, or kidney problems. Problems most often occur with levels of sodium, potassium, or calcium. That quote was from the U.S. National Library of Medicine. There is not a single device out there that is going to fix this problem. What is a really good fix? Your fluid intake. Just plain, clean water, drink more or less of it, maybe a sports drink depending on your doctor's diagnosis if necessary, and you will feel better. You will have better endurance, speed, and muscle performance, and there is no magic involved. Oh, but it works for me. Does it really? Yes. The pain goes away within a few minutes after I put it on. What is the common thread that makes these situations tricky and believable? The answer? You. You cannot do a study with only you involved. Too many ways for your mind to play tricks with you not even knowing it. If your pain is the result of a minor problem, chances are it would have gone away without the item. If your pain keeps on persisting, chances are it's not a minor problem and will require you to see your doctor. Some things to consider. What were you doing at the time? Are you distracted at any point? Are you favoring that area, or the placebo effect? Then minor aches and pains will go away within minutes. When you are distracted or become into what you are doing, aches and pains tend to go away. If you are favoring the afflicted area, then the pains have a tendency to go away. Sometimes we do not even realize at the time we are favoring the limb when we are doing various activities. And another factor to consider is the placebo effect. Quote, the placebo effect is a measurable, observable, or felt improvement in health or behavior not attributable to a medication or an invasive treatment that has been administered. A placebo, which is Latin for I shall please, is a pharmacologically inert substance such as saline solution or starch tablet that produces an effect similar to what would be expected of pharmacologically active substances, such as an antibiotic. That quote was from the Skeptic's Dictionary. This is a powerful effect on the mind and body. You want the pain to go away. You inadvertently look to things to ease that pain. It's understandable, but it can also lead to the mind being easily fooled. Something else to consider. If these items actually worked, then why do companies that make them get shut down or sued? Why do they change their healing claims to fit within the law? Quote, in September of 2006, the Chicago court sided with the FTC and ordered QT Park and his companies to turn over $22.5 million in net profits and provide up to $64.5 million more in refunds to consumers who had bought the bracelets. During the trial, Park testified that he could not define the term ionization, but picked it because it was simple and easy to remember. The court concluded that his testimony on ionization was contradictory and full of obfuscation, and that he is a clever marketer but a poor witness. Park also acknowledged that QT had at least a 25% refund rate from dissatisfied customers. That's more than 100,000 people. That quote was from Quackwatch. Another quote, Q-ray is a crescent of metal capped with a pair of metal beads. In the past, it is marketed as a pain relief device. Now it is being marketed as a way to achieve performance, balance, and vitality, and also as something that will balance the negative and positive energy forces in your body. All of this apparently with the work of ionization, which is a $5 word for electric charge. That quote was from CBC Marketplace. If it was a true medical cure, wouldn't the medical community embrace these bracelets and necklaces? The Hippocratic Oath would surely require them to push these medical miracles. The facts are, no matter what the brand or scientific claim is, the result is the same. It does not work. The bottom line of these products, they are gimmicks and they are expensive. How can I help myself not to get sucked into these gimmicks? Watch out for the following red flags. Scientifically proven. Scientific studies show. U.S. patent pending. Testimonials. Doctors and scientists supporting the claim. Physical tests shown, i.e., person not wearing magic item can support himself against the force. Same person wearing the magic item now can support themselves against the same force. If these claims are being made, then it is really something to raise your eyebrows and question what is going on. The old cliché still holds true here. If it sounds too good to be true, miracles do not exist. What is needed in cases like these is critical thinking. If the information is good and the data is collected properly and is good, then why the need to fill the commercial with gimmicks? Question the claims being made. Question the results being shown. If you cannot afford to go to the doctor to fix your ailment, then you really can't afford to throw your money away on a bracelet or necklace claiming to have the cure.
AstronomyCast takes a facts-based journey through the cosmos as it offers listeners weekly discussions on astronomical topics ranging from planets to cosmology. Hosted by Fraser Cain of Universe Today and myself, Dr. Pamela Gay of Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, this show brings the questions of an avid astronomy lover directly to an astronomer. Together, Fraser and I explore what is known and being discovered about the universe around us. Join us each week as we take a facts-based journey through the cosmos at astronomycast.com.
It's 10 to 9 with George and Paul on 2UE. Now, being a skeptic has a long and honourable history. There was a time when most people thought the Earth was flat. Mm-hmm. A few people still think that. There was a time when it was thought that the sun revolved around the Earth. And there are people who still think that as well. And
it doesn't?
Even today, I knew you'd say that, even today, we talk about the sun going down, when in fact it's the Earth going around, isn't it really? I mean, the sun ain't going down, the sun's going around, we're going around. Then there are the skeptics who don't believe in water divining,
Well, I don't blame them.
Although we had a bloke in our backyard when I was a kid, and he reckoned that there was a river under there somewhere.
Well, I saw a long TV show about it, and believe me, they don't work.
And that was done by the Skeptics, I think, that TV show.
Australian Skeptics.
And then the Skeptics who want proof before they believe in ghosts.
Fair enough.
Supernatural. I'm going to ask him about global warming in a second.
Yeah, okay.
And this morning we've got the head skeptic, Richard Saunders, former president of the Australian Skeptics Incorporated, member of the Mystery Investigators. And if you have any questions for Richard, you're welcome to give us a call while we're chatting. 13 13 32. I'm sorry we don't have any eerie music. Good morning, Richard.
You mean the sun doesn't revolve around the Earth?
Oops. I didn't know that.
I got that one wrong, didn't I? Oh, well.
Got to ask you the topic of the moment. What do the skeptics think about global warming?
We generally like to listen to the best evidence available at the time. The shame about the word skeptic is anybody can use it for anything. People can say, well, we're skeptical, we don't think the global warming's reality. And
it's getting bad baggage.
It is.
Skeptic is now becoming equal to denier, as in Holocaust denier.
Well, unfortunately, the word has sort of meant that for a long time, and try as we might, we can't find a better word which encompasses what we really do and what we really about.
That's what science is about. And I'm reading a book on Karl Popper's major work at the moment, and the word skeptic pops up all through it because that's the scientific method. Somebody comes up with an idea, and you have to treat it skeptically until it's proven.
But Richard, there's no in between and being skeptical about global warming, because if you say something contradictory to it, you will inevitably get a gobful. Someone will howl you down.
Well, you do. Well, you get that on both sides. Now, where it comes to global warming, I think that generally speaking, we don't have a really firm stand on it because it's a little outside our area, and my budgie agrees with me, that generally speaking, we tend to go with the body of good scientific evidence, which suggests, yes, global warming is really happening.
I'm disappointed in you.
Fair enough.
So disappointed in you.
Not to worry.
You've lost 10 points.
Then you see, we can be said that we're skeptical of the global warming skeptics. How about that?
So you're going with the establishment view now, and I thought skeptics were... Anyway, let's move on from that. The bit about the ghosts and the supernatural and the water divining, that's where you guys really excel, isn't it?
Well, we've had a lot of experience in it. We've been at it since 1980, and it occurred to me the other day that, the Australian skeptics have been doing skeptical things and saying these things since 1980, and we're still on the right track because we haven't had to publicly apologise or give away all our money or make major drastic alterations to the way we think. We're willing to. It just hasn't happened yet since 1980.
I saw your wonderful program about water divining.
Oh, yeah.
I love that, yeah.
You went to a lot of trouble to show every example so that you were giving it a fair go. And I think recently you had one on about ghosts, and you went to a lot of places where ghosts are alleged to be, and of course they were never there. But have you ever come close to finding a ghost?
Never. Not even close to being close. I personally make a point of going on ghost tours. Yeah. Well, there are ghost tours for fun, there are ghost tours which claim to be serious, and then there are people who are really scared and want you to come along and check out things. And I've been on all sorts of ghost investigations like this.
Yeah, look, I think... I don't believe in ghosts personally, but I think it'd be a good place if we had ghosts because it makes life more exciting. I mean, it's pretty sort of... I don't know, it's pretty sort of unexciting to think we're the only things here. It's nice to think there's another dimension there.
You see, I can't rule them out, of course. I don't know if there are really ghosts there or not, but what I can say is all the investigations that we've done and I've personally been on, I'm not some armchair skeptic saying, there's no such things as ghosts. There's yet to be any good evidence at all that the ghosts are real. Now, tomorrow I might be invited to the most haunted house in Australia, although many houses make that claim.
Yeah.
And have a conversation with a ghost, and then I'll change my mind.
Excellent. Please give us a call if that happens. What sort of things do people tell you with these haunted houses, and how do you debunk them?
Well, we can't really debunk something. We can't debunk stories and tales. Someone will say, I was here and the ghost walked right through the house and gave me a cup of tea and kept going. Well, there's not much we can say about that. We can listen, and that's about all we can do. But in the case of one haunted place I visited where someone was very scared, and I treated that very seriously, there were things like a picture frame would fall off the wall, and they couldn't figure it out, and, they put it down to ghostly activity. And I discovered that the floorboard near the wall where the picture frame was was falling down was a bit loose, and if you actually stood outside in another room on the floorboard, and it's little things like that. But no, sometimes we can't know what's going on.
I remember being a very young and, I guess, naive broadcaster, and we had Uri Geller come into the studio, and he did the key bending and the spoon bending. My eyes lit up like a couple of saucers. God, he was good. And then about 2 years later, James Randi, the magician, followed in his footsteps, and I was saying, but, you know, Uri Geller, and he said, oh, come on, give me the spoon, give me the keys, boom, 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 and he did it right in front of me. He said, it's a trick, mate. And I thought, my God, it is. I've been sucked right in.
Richard, one of your old favourites is religion. You must have you read the 3 blockbusting books that are out there at the moment?
I've read one of them. Religion is an interesting topic because by and large, officially, we don't really get into those muddy waters. We only try to stick to things that we can actually prove one way or the other, or at least claims that can be proven.
But hang on a moment. There's a bit of a logic problem there, Richard. If something can't be proven, right? Well, you've got to say no, it doesn't exist. Like for example, and here's the classic old example. If I said to you, "There's a Coca-Cola factory on the other side of the moon," you can't prove that it isn't there.
That's right.
Right. So therefore, you say it's up to you now to prove that it's there. And if I can't prove it's there, it doesn't exist.
Well, if you can't prove it's there, it means you can't prove it's there. It might be there, just means you can't prove it. It's the same with ghosts, you see.
I don't know so much.
But you blokes were very busy down there when Mary Magdalene appeared on a fence down at Coogee, and I think you had something to say about the piece of toast with Jesus on it. and
the holy toast.
And things like that.
The holy post and the holy toast.
Exactly.
Now, listen, Lee, one of our listeners wants to ask you a question. Are you there, Lee?
Yeah, g'day.
Yeah, just
I'm just curious as to whether skeptics are generally atheists or not.
They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be.
Well, they shouldn't be strictly, but we've never really taken a poll, and it's not something we ask people if they want to come along to meetings or join us or chat to us, generally speaking.
Because generally all scientists should be skeptics, shouldn't they, Richard?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is your society a fun
Thank you, Lee.
thing?
Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Lee. Is your society more of a fun thing than a serious thing?
Both. We actually have two sides. We have an enormous amount of fun. You can't imagine all the tricks we get up to. Magic tricks, of course, spoon bending, fooling people, just for fun, and we never take it too seriously. But then, yes, there is the very serious side, and that revolves largely around people ripping people off. I'll remove your curse for $1,000, or if you hook yourself up to my special machine, which scientists don't know about, and I'll charge you $300, I can remove your cancer. Terrible things we have to deal with.
They're awful people. I must say, I was very impressed, by the way, and I saw your video about the water diviners, and I was very impressed with the gentle way you helped those people and dealt with them who genuinely believed that they could divine water. You proved that they couldn't, but you were very nice to them. You weren't nasty to them.
Well, we realized that most people claiming paranormal stuff, and especially most people claiming psychic ability, are actually quite sincere, and they really do believe it. They're not out to con anybody. A very small percentage of people we come across are actually the cons and the sharks.
Yeah, I guess you don't listen to 2U late on Sunday nights, do you?
Well, I don't want to say too much about that.
Okay. Good to talk to you, Richard.
All right, thanks, guys.
See you later, mate.
I'm going to join soon.
And the budgie's still going in the cage.
The budgie's, he's happy, yeah.
Okay, so keep digging. There's still enough oxygen there. Thanks, mate. Bye-bye. Richard Saunders, the head skeptic.
I'm going to go and join.
Thank you for listening to the Skeptic Zone. So next week's show number 90, will be the first of our Amazing Meeting 8 specials. This one will be a little report on the scene, what's happening. Hopefully we can bump into a few good people to talk to, and I'll bring that to you direct from the South Point Casino in Las Vegas. So until then, this is Richard Saunders for this week, signing off from Sydney, Australia.
You've been listening to The Skeptic Zone. Visit our website at www.skepticzone.tv for comments, contacts, and extra video reports.
The Skeptic Zone.